The international community has been alarmed by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which began in January 2023. Russia has been accused of stealing Ukrainian grain and other produce from local farmers in the occupied areas, and using them to fund its war effort. Russia has also been exploiting Ukraine's rich mineral resources, such as diamonds, copper, aluminum, and nickel, to boost its economy and military capabilities. The Group of Seven, G7, countries, which include the EU, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, have been leading the diplomatic and economic pressure on Russia to end its aggression and respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The G7 leaders have met several times since the start of the war, most recently in Hiroshima, Japan, from May 19 to 21, 2023. At the summit, the G7 announced a wave of new sanctions against Russia, targeting companies and individuals connected to the theft and resale of Ukrainian grains, major energy and arms shipping enterprises, and enterprises linked to Russian state-owned nuclear energy company Rosatom. The EU also banned imports on Russian diamonds and copper, aluminum and nickel, which are vital for Russia's industrial and military sectors. The G7 sanctions are aimed at reducing Russia's war coffers and stalling its progress in its military offensive in Ukraine. The G7 leaders have also expressed their solidarity with Ukraine and pledged to provide humanitarian and security assistance to the country. They have called on Russia to engage in meaningful dialogue with Ukraine and respect the 2015 Minsk agreements, which outline a roadmap for a peaceful resolution of the conflict. However, Russia has shown no signs of backing down or complying with the international demands. Russia has continued to advance its troops into Ukrainian territory, despite facing fierce resistance from the Ukrainian army and volunteer battalions. Russia has also intensified its propaganda campaign against Ukraine and its Western allies, accusing them of interfering in its internal affairs and supporting terrorism. The situation in Ukraine remains tense and volatile, with no clear end in sight. The international community faces a daunting challenge of finding a way to stop Russia's aggression and restore peace and stability in the region. Some of the potential solutions that have been proposed or discussed include increasing military support for Ukraine, such as providing lethal weapons, training, and intelligence. Imposing more severe sanctions on Russia, such as cutting off its access to international financial markets and energy supplies. Engaging in direct negotiations with Russia, possibly involving other parties such as NATO, the European Union, or the United Nations. Offering incentives for Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukraine, such as lifting some sanctions or recognizing its interests in the region. Pursuing a diplomatic solution based on the principles of international law and human rights. Each of these options has its own benefits and risks, and none of them guarantees a successful outcome. The international community will have to weigh the costs and benefits of each option carefully, while keeping in mind the urgency of the situation and the humanitarian toll of the war. The fate of Ukraine and its people depends on finding a way to end this crisis peacefully and prevent further escalation.